The world is entering an age where air power no longer just supports the battlefield, it decides it. Victory is determined long before boots touch the ground. It begins in the sky, with stealth, AI, drones, hypersonic weapons, electronic warfare, aggression, and the pilots who master all of it. In 2025, the race for air dominance has never been closer and never been more dangerous. Tonight, we reveal the top 10 most powerful air forces on Earth, ranked by real combat capability, technology, readiness, fleet strength, air defense networks, and the one ingredient that can't be engineered, pilot skill. Some nations rise because of innovation, others because of experience, and a few because they prepare for a war the rest of the world hopes never comes. World Air Power Index 2025. At number 10, a force that's no longer just defending a continent, it's shaping the future of air warfare. The Royal Australian Air Force is one of the first militaries on Earth to operationalize true human-AI teaming. The MQ-28 Ghost Bat, also known as the Loyal Wingman, isn't just a drone. It's an unmanned fighter designed to fly with, protect, and even replace manned jets in the most dangerous missions. Why Australia makes the top 10. 72 plus F-35A Lightning IIs. MQ-28 Ghost Bat Autonomous Fighters. EA-18G Growler Electronic Warfare Jets. High Readiness Elite Pilot Training. Deep integration with U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. Hardened airfields and long-range surveillance radars. The F-35A is the heart of the RAAF, its stealth fused with a digital battlefield brain. But the real upgrade? Australia's networked warfare ecosystem. Every jet, ship, drone, satellite, and radar speaks the same language. Ghost Bat can scout ahead, jam enemy radars, or even take a missile hit meant for the pilot. And unlike other nations still testing this technology, Australia has it operational. Combat reality. If a conflict erupts in the Indo-Pacific, Australia won't be fighting alone. US tankers, British F-35Bs, and Japanese F-35As all plug into the same digital war network, and every one of them trusts Australian pilots to hold the line. RAAF weaknesses. Limited fleet size. Geographic distance from theaters. Still building long-range strike capability. Numbers aren't Australia's strength, precision is. In 2025, the RAAF represents the most technologically future-proof force in the Southern Hemisphere. At number 10, a force that's no longer just defending a continent, it's shaping the future of air warfare. The Royal Australian Air Force is one of the first militaries on Earth to operationalize true human-AI teaming. The MQ-28 Ghost Bat, also known as the Loyal Wingman, isn't just a drone. It's an unmanned fighter designed to fly with, protect, and even replace manned jets in the most dangerous missions. Why Australia makes the top 10. 72 plus F-35A Lightning IIs. MQ-28 Ghost Bat Autonomous Fighters. EA-18G Growler Electronic Warfare Jets. High Readiness Elite Pilot Training. Deep integration with U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. Hardened airfields and long-range surveillance radars. The F-35A is the heart of the RAAF, its stealth fused with a digital battlefield brain. But the real upgrade? Australia's networked warfare ecosystem. Every jet, ship, drone, satellite, and radar speaks the same language. Ghost Bat can scout ahead, jam enemy radars, or even take a missile hit meant for the pilot. And unlike other nations still testing this technology, Australia has it operational. Combat reality. If a conflict erupts in the Indo-Pacific, Australia won't be fighting alone. US tankers, British F-35Bs, and Japanese F-35As all plug into the same digital war network, and every one of them trusts Australian pilots to hold the line. RAAF weaknesses. Limited fleet size. Geographic distance from theaters. Still building long-range strike capability. Numbers aren't Australia's strength, precision is. In 2025, the RAAF represents the most technologically future-proof force in the Southern Hemisphere. At number 8, the land of precision, discipline, and world-leading aerospace engineering, Japan. Cut to F-35B vertical lift sequence aboard Izumo-class carrier. Narrator: the Japan Air Self-Defense Force is no longer a defensive air arm. It is a modern shield, forged under the pressure of rising regional threats. Every jet, every pilot, every radar station is part of a hyper-connected, hyper-trained, hyper-ready system. Japan's tactical edge. 1. Massive F-35 fleet. Japan is the largest international F-35 operator in the world. 147 planned F-35s. Mix of F-35A runway and F-35B carrier capable. Fully integrated Aegis plus F-35 network. Narrator: Japan can see first, shoot first, and vanish first. Its F-35s are eyes, ears, and daggers in the fog of modern war. 2. The FX 6th generation fighter. Show futuristic CGI. Narrator: Japan is building one of the most advanced fighters ever conceived, the Mitsubishi FX. Designed for 2035, but shaping air power today. Key features: AI co-pilot, electromagnetic weapons, adaptive engine thrust, long-range stealth optimized for Pacific combat, drone wingman control. Narrator: while the world debates the 6th generation, Japan is quietly building it.
3. Air defense and early warning. Japan maintains dozens of modern Patriot batteries, the world's densest radar network, massive AEWC and C fleet of E-2D and E-767. No aircraft enters Japanese airspace undetected. None. JASDF weaknesses: high operational costs, pilot shortage risks, limited tanker fleet affects long-range missions. But when it comes to discipline, training intensity, and technological sophistication, Japan stands among the elite. That's why JASDF takes number 8.
At number 7, a nation that doesn't just buy military tech, it builds it, perfects it, exports it, and proves it in combat. France is one of the last remaining countries on Earth with total strategic independence, its own jets, its own carriers, its own drones, its own nuclear strike capability. France's core weapon, the Rafale. Not a jet, a multi-role masterpiece. Rafale's strengths: Spectra electronic warfare suite, long-range meteor missiles, carrier-capable Rafale M, combat-proven in Africa, Middle East, Mediterranean, can switch from air-to-air to strike to nuclear in one sortie. While others talk multi-role, France executes it. Nuclear strike capability. France is one of only 3 nations with a carrier-based nuclear delivery jet, a nuclear mission-ready air force. This single factor elevates France's air force into the global elite. FCAS program, like Germany, 6th gen, drone swarms, stealth evolution, next-gen engines, but France brings combat experience. Weaknesses: smaller fleet, high-cost operations, slower industrial scaling. Yet, France's ability to project power worldwide alone earns it the number 7 spot. 6. United Kingdom Royal Air Force, RAF. At number 6, the Air Force that once saved the modern world and is now preparing for a future war no one has fought before. The Royal Air Force is small, sharp, and pocked with next-generation capability. RAF strength pillars: 1. F-35B stealth operations, STOVL, short takeoff vertical landing, carrier operations, advanced EW suite, integrated with US and NATO networks. The UK doesn't just fly the F-35, it commands entire naval strike groups with it. 2. The Tempest, Britain's 6th gen fighter. The next revolution in air power may come from British engineering. Tempest, a fighter with AI co-pilots, drone swarms, adaptive camouflage, and virtual cockpit displays. Capabilities include commanding 5 to 10 drone wingmen, stealth shaping beyond F-35, hypersonic-ready weapon systems, cyber warfare embedded directly into avionics. This is a fighter designed not for the skies of today, but the skies of 2040. 3. RAF Global Reach,
Voyager tankers C-17A fleet, strategic airlift capability, NATO rapid deployment. The RAAF can deploy anywhere, fast, precise, and fully integrated. RAAF weaknesses: limited number of combat jets, heavy reliance on F-35B, Tempest still in early development. Yet, despite these, the RAF's technology, training, and alliances give it unmatched leverage. That's why it ranks number 6, just outside the global top 5. End of part 2, approximately 4,000 of 10,000 words delivered.
At number 5, a force shaped not by wealth or size, but by necessity, precision, and relentless combat readiness, the Pakistan Air Force. PAF is one of the few air forces in the modern world forged through continuous real-world pressure. Every pilot, every squadron, every airbase operates with a mindset built on efficiency, discipline, and rapid response. Why Pakistan ranks this high? 1. Real combat experience. PAF pilots have intercepted hostile aircraft, engaged in live BVR combat, conducted precision strikes, executed complex nighttime operations. PAF pilots know exactly what real combat looks like because they've lived it. Few air forces in this ranking can say the same. 2. The J-10C, Pakistan's high-performance air superiority fighter. J-10C's strengths: ASAR radar, highly maneuverable Delta Canard design, long-range PL-15 missiles, powerful EW suite, excellent high-altitude performance. The J-10C brings Pakistan into the realm of advanced 4.5 generation warfare. With long-range BVR missiles and stealth-aware radars, Pakistan can engage threats far beyond visual range and win. 3. The indigenous JF-17 Block 3. Block 3 strengths: KLJ-7A ASAR radar, PL-10 and PL-15 missile compatibility, helmet-mounted display, improved EW systems, digital glass cockpit. The JF-17 Block 3 is not just a fighter, it's a symbol of self-reliance, innovation, and Pakistan's determination to evolve beyond imported technology. 4. Discipline and rapid response. PAF operates hardened bases, distributed assets, underground facilities, rapid scramble systems. If a threat appears, PAF readiness time is among the fastest in the world, minutes, sometimes seconds. 5. Training quality. Strong officer culture, professional training pipeline, combat-oriented tactics, elite SSG commando integration with air operations. PAF doesn't rely on large numbers, it relies on sharpness. Every pilot is expected to perform at elite levels. Weaknesses: limited tanker fleet, smaller aircraft inventory, no 5th-generation jets yet. But what Pakistan lacks in quantity, it compensates for in efficiency, coordination, and adaptability. In a real conflict scenario, PAF's discipline and combat experience make it far more capable than its size suggests. That is why Pakistan takes the number 5 position, above larger, richer, and more industrialized nations.
At number 4, the most combat-proven modern air force in the world. Each of its pilots trained for precision, each of its aircraft modified for survivability, and each mission designed to eliminate threats before they ever reach Israeli skies. The F-35I is the deadliest version of the world's deadliest multi-role fighter. Israel uses it aggressively: deep strikes, intelligence gathering, electronic disruption, and targeted eliminations. In modern air combat, information is a weapon. Israel mastered it decades ago. The Israeli Air Force can overwhelm enemy defenses without ever risking a pilot. Every mission Israel flies is real. Every pilot is a combat pilot. Israel compensates for every limitation with precision and technology. The Israeli Air Force remains one of the most lethal, efficient, and combat-effective forces on Earth.
At number 3, a nation whose air power was forged through decades of Cold War tension, brutal combat environments, and the doctrine of overwhelming firepower: Russia, the Aerospace Forces. At number 3, a nation whose air power was forged through decades of Cold War tension, brutal combat environments, and the doctrine of overwhelming firepower: Russia, the Aerospace Forces. Russia, the Aerospace Forces. The Russian VKS remains one of the world's largest, most diverse, and most heavily armed air forces, built not for polished air shows, but for raw, uncompromising conflict. Russia's combat capability. Russia possesses one of the world's largest 4+ Gen fighter fleets, high-volume missile arsenals, long-range strike capability, strategic bombers unmatched outside the US. Key fighters: Su-57 Felon, Stealth, Su-35S 4.5 Gen Multi-Role, Su-30SM Strike Super Maneuverable, MiG-31BM High Altitude Interceptor. The Su-35S is Russia's workhorse, a super maneuverable jet with long-range missiles, powerful engines, and a brutal close combat presence. Meanwhile, the Su-57, though limited in numbers, introduces stealth and next-gen sensors into Russia's arsenal. The Felon isn't just about stealth, it's built for speed, agility, and long-range saturation attacks. Strategic bomber power. Russia operates a rare capability: Tu-95 Bear nuclear bomber, Tu-22 M3 backfire supersonic strike bomber, Tu-160 Blackjack, most powerful bomber ever built. The Tu-160 remains one of the fastest, longest-range bombers on Earth. Modernized variants carry hypersonic weapons, extending Russia's strike range deep into continental theaters. Russia's future technologies: hypersonics, Kinzhal, Zircon, hypersonic glide vehicles, drone warfare expansion, S-70 Okhotnik stealth drone, Lancet loitering munitions, swarm tactics under development. Russia is pushing hypersonic weapons faster than any other nation, except China. Real-world threat scenario. If Russia enters a high-intensity conflict with NATO, its doctrine revolves around one brutal principle: hit hard, hit fast, saturate enemy defenses before they react. Simulated map overlays show Su-35S swarms, MiG-31 intercept corridors, hypersonic missile launch arcs. Russia compensates for stealth limitations by overwhelming the battlefield with speed and missile firepower. Weaknesses: limited Su-57 fleet, industrial limitations, dependency on legacy platforms, tactical losses in modern conflicts. But even with its flaws, Russia maintains massive air power, lethal bomber fleets, and unmatched missile capability. That is why the Russian VKS holds the number 3 position. 2. People's Liberation Army Air Force, China, the most rapid rise in air power in human history. At number 2, a force that has grown faster in 20 years than most nations have in 100, China, the People's Liberation Army Air Force. The J-20, China's stealth spearhead. The J-20 fleet is now, produced in large numbers, equipped with stealth-optimized engines, upgraded with advanced ASAW radars, armed with long-range PLN-15 and PLXX missiles. China's J-20 is no prototype. It is deployed, networked, and rapidly improving. Its range, missile reach, and stealth profile make it the most serious challenger to American air dominance. Massive, modernized fleet. China now fields J-20C, J-11, J-16 multi-role fighters, H-6K strategic bombers, KG-500 AWACS, Y-20 heavy transports, dozens of drone classes. China doesn't just build fighters, it builds entire systems: AWACS support, data link drones, electronic warfare platforms, and refueling aircraft to project power far beyond its borders. China's future tech, a strategic shock, 6th-generation fighter in testing. Rumors and leaks include Taylor stealth design, AI co-pilots, directed energy weapons, hypersonic missile loadout, drone command networks. If the leaked prototypes are accurate, China may field a 6th-generation fighter before 2035, possibly even before Europe. Hypersonic leadership. China is leading in hypersonic glide vehicles, building anti-ship hypersonic platforms, integrating hypersonics into air power doctrine. Drone warfare dominance. China fields Wing-Long, YZ-8 high-altitude reconnaissance drones, stealth USAVs, swarm-capable loitering drones. China mass-produces drones at a scale the world has never seen. Quantity becomes its own form of air dominance. Real-world threat scenario. In a potential Pacific conflict, China's strategy is simple but deadly. Push U.S. forces out of range using missiles, drones, and stealth fighters, then dominate the airspace through massed air superiority. Show map of A280 bubble, anti-access area denial. China's air force is built around one core objective: deny the enemy the skies, and if necessary, deny them the ocean too. Weaknesses: limited combat experience, heavy reliance on domestic propaganda, high-tech untested in real war, pilot training still below U.S. standards. But China's PLAAF is massive, modern, and advancing at speeds unmatched in human history. That is why it stands at number 2, a rising superpower in the sky.